Okay, in this video we're going to talk about eliminating word count, and I have a student who's having a lot of trouble eliminating word count. So where do you take the words from? How do you make it more succinct, more effective, more concise? Now let me get this into final showing. So it looks like this. Okay, track changes are on. Okay, during my chart, let's see if track changes are on, but I want to show markup, and I don't want it to cover it like that, so I'm gonna expand it a little bit. Okay, whatever. I can read it well enough, I think. Why is it like this? Okay, during my childhood, my mother always took me to Book City to read books. Book City is a main source of information in the whole city of Shenzhen. So, how important is this idea that Book City is a main source of information? Books are a source of information that's a given. If it's a given, it's you can assume that to be true. You probably don't need it unless you want to emphasize it. This is not something you emphasize right out the gate. So, I would delete that. I'm just gonna go final showing markup because it doesn't make a difference. Okay, I would delete that. Like most children, I had an obsession with humorous comics such as Father and Son. The comic tells about a bald man and his son who get into and out of dilemmas, but emphasizes the tender relationship between the two. Alright, it's not going to be a very exciting video, but we're going to cover what's important. They never despair when they're faced with predicaments. I was touched by their simple lives and familiar affection. More importantly, it also made an influence on me. It also made an influence. You make a difference. Do you make an influence? I don't think you make an influence. Had influence. It also influenced. It also significantly influenced me. Normally, I went to Book City to seek other comic books, such as this, but my eyes were caught by a book about architecture that contained innumerable houses with extraordinary structures and designs. Okay, that's good. That's actually good visualization of what took place. When I read this book, I was amazed by the content. Basic building structures such as the structures of a Gothic church, Chinese traditional buildings, modern buildings, and modern buildings. You end your series there. I sprouted out of an unrealistic idea. You sprouted out of an unrealistic idea. What does that mean? So here, I need clarity. But first, I want to talk about your improvement in your writing ability. You're quite teachable, actually. You're teachable in the sense that one is that you put great effort. Two, you do initiate effort. It's just your road is very windy. Like you go onto a lot of different paths, and not all of the paths are productive. So it's a little bit cruel, I think, to say so directly, but your key is to have a guide. It could be a teacher, it could be a book, but guidance is what you really need because you have the energy. It's just where you allocate your energy. For example, how do you study efficiently? Not just plowing through hundreds and thousands of words, hundreds or thousands of words for the SAT. So the way, the method, the how, think about that. That's your personal note. I sprouted out of an unrealistic idea. I sprouted out an unrealistic idea. Okay, you did the sprouting. Okay, I get it. I want to be an architecture. Architect! I made this correction already. But it is expensive to get such an education. In fact, my parents were so poor that the whole family lived in a small and narrow room. Again, you don't use narrow. You haven't been as careful as I hoped you would be. In fact, my parents were so poor that the whole family lived in a small and narrow room. You don't need narrow, so we can save 2 words like that. How many words do you have total, anyways? Where's the word count? Why isn't it here? Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna delete as much as I can. I mean, that's not a very good approach. What's the word count? Operating, I feel like. Found it. 931. That's like way over. I'm gonna need to cut like whole paragraphs. Alright, let's get whole paragraphs. Again, what's unnecessary or what can be combined? As a consequence of our living conditions. Alright, so my parents were so poor that the house belonged to another family, the owner of this house. I'm just gonna delete that. I'm gonna be very liberal with my deleting because you're way over the word count. So we were only able to. All right, this is confusing. I think I get the point when you say you lived in a small room. That the whole family lived in a small room. Let's keep it like that. You're like 300 words over. I mean, cutting words, even if you think it's necessary, you're gonna have to cut a lot. As a consequence of now just saving time in editing stuff that's really time consuming to correct, and then in the end you might find out you have to delete it anyways. As a consequence of our living conditions, I inwardly made a decision to build a big, gorgeous, and unique house for my parents. Impressively, my parents decided to let. It wasn't impressively that you're. What you're saying is, I think what you want to say is thank goodness. Impressively is not the word. Luckily, that's one way to say it. My parents decided to let me go to a relatively costly class. Is that so lucky? I don't know. Fortunately, that's a little bit more appropriate. Fortune, money. Fortunately, my parents decided to let me go to a relatively costly class. For my family situation, about learning sketching without hesitation, which was moved. And I was able to begin to lay the foundations for my future. There you go. I mean, that's laying foundations, that's architecture. It's more like actual house building, but you get it. I have passion for my sketching. Did I even start recording? Yeah, I did. How long has it been? 8 minutes. Oh my god. Okay. I have passion for my sketching class at the beginning of starting it. I have passion for my sketching class in the beginning. As I started to study sketching, I found by accident that I was fond of it. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that. The art studio was my class and the teacher's home. In winter, the sky always was gloomy. So the teacher turned on all the light bulbs to illuminate the whole class. Does that have significance here? What the most impressionable is my teacher instructed all students to sketch an apple. Eventually I began to imitate the method of the teacher to sketch my unique apple. Teacher, why can't I feel like three-dimensional? He said, you must know how to use your pencil lines for your shadows. Is apple. I'm gonna get closer to cutting. What's essential? And use his pencil to demonstrate. After that, I followed suit, but my first apple was passable. I continued to create better apple. Over and over, I was immersed in process. Alright, that's some kind of passion right there. For now, I'm gonna hold on to that. However, one day I was sketching as usual. I feel that. Why you kind of just like gave up sketching like suddenly. I don't know. I don't really understand that. Meanwhile, books of design stimulated my curiosity because of the versatility of the design. Okay. You must keep it. Look at these. Alright, I'm gonna cut this quote. I don't know what this means. That's a little better. My father helped me pull out the That's good. This is a very good connection between the beginning and later on. Connections. You want to create connections because connections allow flow, continuity, progression to happen in an essay. I picked it up, but I met incredibly minuscule errors. You didn't meet them. Did you create them? Did you find them? Did you discover them? Did you see them? You don't whatever the word was before them. I tried to revise. I was sharing my stupid mistakes. I kind of like this. It reveals your character really well. You get down on yourself really easily, and you do pick yourself up eventually. So I do like that, and I really like this realization. I have to say that I bravely accepted the real me. Not confident, not brave, not mature, but absolutely persistent. I can be responsible for my perseverance that is key to achieve my ambition. Sure, I hope that it can be commemoration. It will be the best parents. And now, not only do I want to achieve my goal of oriental culture, I need a chance to. Okay, actually, this is pretty good. It's still stuck at 877 words. Let's go back and see what is unnecessary. First, setup, nice. The change, good. Setup. As a consequence of our living conditions, I inwardly made a decision to build a big, gorgeous. Alright, good. I had passion for sketching. You need to cut down on the sketching. It's basic, the purpose of the sketching part is to show how you liked it, didn't like it, gave up, quit, and then realized you couldn't, you had to persevere. That's the point of it. But you don't need to go too deeply into the apple. The most impressionable moment was when I feel like Macs should have the lead keys like four delete, but anyways, was when my teacher instructed all students to sketch an apple. This sounds like it's kind of profound, but it doesn't connect, or maybe I'm missing something. After that, I followed suit, but my first apple was passable. Improving. I like that actually. However, one day I was sketching. So sudden. I don't know if I felt baited about sketching because of immediately copying sketches. I'm gonna delete this and change it to something else. I'm going to simplify it for you, okay? designs. You're right. Cutting this is going to be hard. 831, you need hundreds of words. You need whole paragraphs. Take away this. I told you to add this, but you don't. Just take it out. I feel like we need to take out the apple because the word count is way too high. Alright, summarize all this into like one sentence. Okay? I'm gonna bold this. Summarize this into one sentence. Summarize that into two sentences. Take these quotes, turn it into like 1/3 the length. Okay, so those are the two main suggestions that I have. You cut it down further. You can say, let's see, I actually like this. It's like a very short, like these try to revise. I was ashamed. I couldn't muster the courage. I sat before him. It's kind of moving. I like it, but you don't. I guess maybe you don't need all that, especially when you have a word count hanging over your head. I'm gonna cut this. It's not completely necessary. Wait. You want to combine this Oriental. Okay, now we're at 727. 70 more words. You can cut that out of combining this, simplifying this, and then we're gonna get closer and closer. Okay, I hope that helps. Good luck. Keep the hard work. You're improving drastically in terms of personal statement writing. So.